Look at this. Question of the day. Have you contemplated renegotiating your mortgage in the face of rising interest rates? VOCM. Hi everybody, this is Jennifer McCreath and I'm trying to balance my camera. I just got out of the shower a few minutes ago, so I still got my towel here. February 1st. Rent is due on the 1st. By coincidence, so are some credit card payments. What do you do when you get your paycheck and it's not enough to pay everything because, well, you've borrowed from Peter to pay Paul, and you've already asked for extensions, you've already begged your landlord too many times, and the banks don't want to lend you any more money, and they're nipping at your heels because it's time for you to pay them back. It's interesting, I was watching a documentary there on Fifth Estate, and it was about medically assisted death. And the ethical question of whether or not euthanasia is a suitable public policy for poverty. This poor gentleman got on camera and said, "I do not want to die, but I cannot afford to live." Kind of hits that question. If you're privileged enough to own a house or some sort of property that's mortgageable, good for you. What about those that don't have assets of that nature? What about my assets? Well, we don't have very many. None are secured through financial institutions. The only thing I have with them are negative balances. Luckily for me, I got into collecting sports memorabilia when I was a young lad. Now a dame. Ha 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 ha. That's a whole other story. So yeah, we spent 6 hours last night trying to find a buyer for some of my old hockey cards. Luckily for me, we were able to sell enough to bring in enough money so that the rent is now paid. Unfortunately, I had to sell them much far below market value. That's what happens when you're in a crunch. If you have the time to set up a business and properly, sure, sports collectibles are fun to collect as a hobby, but they're also commodities. There's a big market now. As the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, rich are recognizing the opportunity to buy from the poor, just like from me. Here's a poor sap who's desperate to pay their rent, so they're going to sell a set of hockey cards for half of what it's worth. They can buy it off of me, turn around and send them to a grading company, spend a little bit of money to get them graded, and then boom, those assets are now worth 10 times what they paid for them. Again, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. That set of hockey cards was supposed to be something I was going to save for a rainy day. Namely, retirement. I'm not going to have a lot of pensionable earnings. So, should the day come that I live to be old enough when I can't work and have to retire and will be relying on pensions, it's going to be nice to have a nest egg. And some of that just went out the window last night. The irony. I could not afford to go to work today. I had to take a personal day because I spent the day dealing with this. I had to be on the phone with my landlord. I was on the phone with 2 or 3 different banks. I had to physically visit a bank and put cash onto an account. Because when you do e-transfers for some of this stuff, sometimes there's like a day or 2 business day processing hold, whatever the hell. It's pretty bad when you have to take a day off work because you need to actually find more money to actually pay your bills. It's not easy. It's frustrating. It's stressful. And it impacts your daily life. Debt is not something that you can leave at the office. It follows you around 24/7, 365. And it follows you when it's literally midnight and you're scrambling to come up with enough money to make sure that that rent check doesn't bounce, because you don't want to have to phone your landlord one more time and beg for another extension because you've already run out of options, because the last 3 years have been pure hell. Medically assisted euthanasia? Well, if I was dead, I wouldn't have to pay my bills, right? No, I'm not considering this. Unfortunately, other people do. I honestly don't know what the statistics are, but I would hazard a guess that if you looked at the reasons people commit suicide, debt might actually be among the top 10. And it's a shame. It shouldn't have to be this way. Buddy on Fifth Estate, his story went viral and the neighbors all chipped in and gave him a bunch of money. I'm not here asking for handouts, but what I am asking for is a fair opportunity to earn a living. Unemployment and underemployment have plagued my life for the past 16 years. Coincidentally, when I came out as a trans person. Trans persons are chronically underemployed and unemployed, and are astronomically higher in percentile of people who are living below the poverty line. I've worked so hard to do education, awareness, and activism, but there's only so much any one trans person can do. At what point do I throw in this towel, literally? Compared to a boxing match, I'm getting my ass kicked. I've already been knocked down and gotten back up on my feet, but now I'm really wobbly. The fight's almost over. My life is probably 2/3 over if you do the math on life expectancy. I'm 10 rounds into a 15-round boxing match, and I've got my ass kicked for 9 out of those 10 rounds. I'm going to lose the fight. Whether I may go the distance or not is kind of immaterial. The only thing keeping me going now is pride. Medically assisted suicide? No. I'm not letting the government get off the hook that easy. I'm a Canadian. We allegedly have a social safety net here. We supposedly take care of our sick and our weak. And that hasn't been the case. Healthcare bills have piled up for me over the years. And there's always a reason why government won't fund the stuff. You got to pay for this out of your own pocket, Jen. By the way, we're not even going to give you that job. We're going to give that job to someone else because we don't want trans people working here. Not good enough. Of course, there's healthcare. My knee. We all know the story about my knee. When you can't walk, it affects your finances as well. All of a sudden, you're taking a lot more taxis instead of walking places. And those things are damn expensive. No wonder I can't pay my rent or buy proper food or upgrade my wardrobe. Had a job interview today. Job that would pay me twice what I'm currently earning. It would solve a lot of problems. But again, instead of studying for the job interview last night, I was scrambling to sell hockey cards so I could pay my rent. Would that have made a difference? I don't know. Will I get the job? Who knows? Technically, there's always a chance. But 16 years of trying to get a job like this without success, it kind of makes you wonder. But yeah, times are tough, and we need to do a better job helping those, especially those who are in oppressed minorities. Every life matters. Nobody should feel that they have to take their own life because they can't handle their debt situations. Shame on the government for even suggesting this. Medically assisted death is not supposed to be a solution for poverty. It's supposed to be something that ends suffering of somebody who's terminally ill, who is going to die anyway. And the fact that this person I think he was in St. Catharines, watch that Fifth Estate if you can go find that episode online. It's terrifying how government officials are literally trying to encourage people to kill themselves or ask to be killed because government would rather have them dead than to take care of them. I'm looking you right in the eye, Justin Trudeau, because this is a federal thing. That is not good enough, and fuck you. I can't wait for the next election because I'm going to be voting for somebody other than you. Wish I could put more positive stories on my video channel, but life hasn't been very good to me lately. It's been a very, very difficult couple of years. And now we're going to be faced with some even more tough choices. Because I've literally been, as I said, I'm on my feet, but I'm wobbling, and I'm about to fall down again. And the next time I fall down, I'm probably going to be down for the 10 count, and I won't be getting back up. Literally, with this knee. Talk to people. Educate them if you know who I am and you have positive thoughts about me. Educate people to stop this transphobia. Let them know that trans people are people, and they're good people, and they're hard-working people. They have experience working hard, because we have to work twice as hard just to survive. Waking up and going out the door is a very difficult thing for me to do every single friggin' day of my life. And as it is for most trans people. Well, there's my video. I don't know what else to say at this point. I just hope that somebody sees this and hears this. Maybe has some ideas and some solutions. But yeah, I'm a fighter. And I ain't gonna give up. Thanks for watching, everyone.